Welcome to an extraordinary journey into the world of rare coins and hidden treasures, where a seemingly ordinary piece of copper can be worth a staggering fortune, and where small minting mistakes turn pocket change into prized collectibles worth millions. Today, we dive deep into the fascinating story of the 1981 1-cent coin, a coin that most people might pass by without a second thought, but which in rare circumstances has been valued as high as $46 million because of its remarkable errors, fascinating history, and the unique set of circumstances that make it one of the most mysterious and sought-after pieces in the world of numismatics. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks like every other penny you've ever seen, but beneath its humble surface lies a story of minting anomalies, copper transitions, die varieties, and misstruck designs that make it one of the rarest 1-cent coins ever discovered. This 1981 1-cent is not just a coin, it's a symbol of how something so small can hold immense historical, artistic, and monetary value, transforming an everyday item into a piece of American treasure history. The year 1981 was a pivotal one for the U.S. Mint because it marked the final full year of the traditional 95% copper composition before the transition to the copper-plated zinc planchets that began in 1982. This transitional period set the stage for some of the most fascinating minting errors in modern American coinage. The 1981 penny, depending on where it was struck, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, has been found in a range of unique varieties that collectors now chase passionately. But one specific 1981 1-cent coin, due to a combination of extremely rare minting mistakes, has been rumored and verified by top grading services to be worth tens of millions, with the most exceptional piece reportedly fetching a value of around $46 million. So, what exactly makes this little copper coin so valuable? It all starts with the transition between the copper and zinc planchets. As the mint prepared for the big changeover, several experimental strikes and test runs occurred in late 1981, where a few planchets intended for other purposes, or composed of different metal ratios, may have accidentally entered the presses. These off-metal strikes are incredibly rare, and one such 1981 penny has been discovered struck on a transitional planchet, possibly with a blend that doesn't match the standard copper or zinc compositions. This anomaly alone drives collectors wild, as it represents an error that marks the boundary between two distinct eras of U.S. coinage. Then there are the die varieties, errors created when the hub used to impress the design into the die leaves behind subtle differences that can alter the details of Lincoln's portrait or the lettering on the coin. The 1981 Lincoln cent is known for having two major proof varieties, Type 1 and Type 2. Type 1 features a bold, blocky S mint mark on proof coins, while Type 2 has a more delicate and refined S shape, used later in the year. But beyond proof coins, even business strike coins from Philadelphia and Denver show variations in the dies used, including double dies, repunched mint marks, and even die cracks that create raised lines across the surface of the coin. The rarest of these are the 1981 double die obverse coins, where you can see doubling on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," giving the letters a shadowed or overlapping appearance. This doubling occurred when the die used to strike the coin received more than one impression from the hub, slightly misaligned each time. For collectors, such a visual anomaly is like striking gold. It's a tangible and visible marker of a minting mistake that slipped through the tight quality controls of the U.S. Mint. Some 1981 1-cent coins have also been reported to feature misaligned dies, broad strikes, and off-center strikes, where the coin design appears shifted, sometimes exposing part of the blank edge or rim. Each of these variations can significantly increase the value of the coin, especially when they're combined with other errors. Imagine a 1981 penny struck on a transitional planchet, with a double die obverse and off-center alignment. That's the kind of unique piece that could easily capture headlines and skyrocket to multimillion-dollar status among collectors. The value also skyrockets when a coin is preserved in pristine condition. While most 1-cent coins from 1981 circulated widely and suffered scratches, nicks, and discoloration, the rarest examples that have remained untouched in mint state or proof condition, especially with visible errors, are exponentially more valuable. Coins graded MS-67 or higher by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, can bring enormous premiums, with the finest known examples commanding prices that defy logic. Now, when we look at the $46 million valuation attached to one particular 1981 penny, it's a combination of several mind-blowing factors, a perfect storm of rarity, historical context, condition, and intrigue. Rumors persist in collector circles about a unique specimen discovered during the early 2000s, believed to be a one-of-a-kind transitional error struck on a gold alloy experimental planchet at the Philadelphia Mint, intended for testing purposes during the composition changeover. Whether this story is fully verified or part of numismatic legend, it has only fueled the mystique surrounding the 1981 cent and its extraordinary worth. It's said that this special coin exhibits not only a distinct metallic sheen and weight difference but also minute details that don't align perfectly with any known die from that year, suggesting it was part of a test batch that was never meant to be released to the public. Such a coin, if authenticated, would be beyond rare. It would be unique in the entire history of U.S. coinage. Even without this legendary example, the 1981 cent remains one of the most dynamic coins for error collectors. Among the known error types, you have off-metal errors, where coins are struck on planchets meant for other denominations, such as dimes or foreign coins. A 1981 cent struck on a dime planchet, for instance, would be smaller, lighter, and would show partial designs from both the cent and dime dies, a true freak of minting nature. There are also clipped planchets, where part of the metal blank is missing, creating a crescent-shaped gap along the coin's edge. These can happen when the metal strip used to punch out blanks overlaps during cutting, and while they might look like factory damage to the untrained eye, collectors recognize them as rare and valuable mint errors. Another variety includes off-center strikes where Lincoln's portrait appears partially missing, sometimes with as much as 50% of the design off the coin's surface, revealing the blank area beneath. When combined with a clear date and mint mark, such errors can easily fetch thousands, and in exceptional cases, tens of thousands of dollars. The 1981 cent also produced some fascinating die cracks, cuds, and lamination errors, where part of the coin's metal layer peels or splits due to impurities in the planchet. These imperfections are all snapshots of minting history, physical records of the machinery and conditions of the time. Each one tells a small part of the larger story about how coins are made and how human and mechanical imperfections can turn mass-produced items into rare collectibles. Collectors have long been fascinated by the Lincoln cent series, partly because of its longevity. It's been in continuous production since 1909, and partly because of its constant evolution in design, metal composition, and minting techniques. The 1981 cent stands at a crossroads between the old and new eras of U.S. coinage, making it especially significant. It was the last year most coins were composed of nearly pure copper before cost-cutting measures led to the cheaper zinc core. Because of this, collectors view 1981 cents as the final chapter of a classic American coinage era. When you consider that millions of these coins were produced, over 12 billion across all mints, it might seem impossible that any one of them could be worth millions. Yet it's the incredibly rare, almost accidental deviations from that mass production that make a handful of these coins priceless. Think of it like a rare printing error in a postage stamp or a misprint on a baseball card. Those flaws make certain examples stand out dramatically from the rest. Combine that with the historical timing of the composition shift, and you have the perfect recipe for numismatic legend. Some numismatists believe that a few 1981 Lincoln cents may have been struck using leftover dies intended for proof coins or experimental presses, leading to sharper details, deeper strikes, and mirror-like surfaces not typically seen on regular circulation issues. Others speculate that special planchets or die trials were conducted at the San Francisco Mint in preparation for the 1982 switch, and that a few of these were accidentally released into circulation. Each of these theories contributes to the aura of mystery surrounding the coin. Beyond the technical side, the emotional and cultural value of the 1981 1-cent coin adds another layer to its allure. This coin represents an era of American history marked by economic transitions, the beginning of the Reagan years, and the evolution of manufacturing technology. The Lincoln cent, already one of the most iconic designs in U.S. coinage, captures a sense of national pride and continuity. It carries the face of Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of unity, equality, and perseverance, values that resonate deeply with collectors who see these coins not just as metal discs, but as pieces of living history. Next. Today we're uncovering the incredible story of the 1982 1-cent coin, a coin that looks just like any other penny you might have in your pocket, yet one rare version of it is rumored to be worth a staggering $40 million because of a combination of unusual errors, transitional mistakes, and historical circumstances that make it one of the most talked about coins in American numismatic history. The 1982 penny marks one of the most pivotal years in United States mint production because it was the year of transition from copper to zinc composition, and that single decision resulted in a confusing mix of varieties that would puzzle collectors and researchers for decades. During 1982, the mint switched from the traditional bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc to a new copper-plated zinc alloy composed of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper, drastically reducing the weight of the coin from 3.11 grams to 2.5 grams. However, because the change happened partway through the year, both copper and zinc pennies were produced in 1982, and with multiple design variations involving large and small dates, this year alone produced an unusually high number of distinct varieties. What makes it even more intriguing is that certain combinations of these varieties were never officially supposed to exist, yet they do, and those are the ones that can bring astronomical prices. The 1982 penny that has captured the attention of collectors and treasure hunters alike is believed to have an exceptional minting era that occurred during this transitional year, a coin that combines characteristics of both copper and zinc planchets, or perhaps one that features a mismatched die, double strike, or unique die variety that sets it apart from the millions of regular strikes. These transitional errors happen when a planchet of one composition, such as the copper type, accidentally gets struck with dies intended for the newer zinc coin, resulting in an incredibly rare hybrid piece that was never meant to circulate. Since the mint produced billions of pennies in 1982 across the Philadelphia, Denver, and West Point mints, finding such an error coin among so many regular strikes is like finding a single grain of sand in a desert. The combination of these rare circumstances has turned the 1982 1-cent coin into a symbol of hope for every coin roll hunter, metal detectorist, and numismatic enthusiast who dreams of finding that one-in-a-billion piece worth millions. The transition created 7 official varieties for the 1982 penny: 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 D large date copper, 1982 D small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, and 1982 D large date zinc, but the 8th, the 1982 D small date copper, was not officially documented until collectors discovered 1 year later. This rare variety, struck on a 3.11 gram copper planchet with the small date design from the Denver Mint, is one of the most valuable modern Lincoln cents known today, with only a few confirmed examples. Its extreme rarity stems from the fact that the Denver Mint was supposed to have completed the transition to zinc planchets before small date dies were used, yet somehow a few copper planchets remained in the hoppers and were struck with the wrong die set. This combination of human error, transitional confusion, and accidental survival gives the 1982 D small date copper cent its mythic status and million-dollar reputation. What makes the rumored $40 million figure so astonishing is that it reflects the immense public fascination with such discoveries. Every time a new coin surfaces with even a hint of such an anomaly, collectors and media outlets alike leap into speculation about its potential worth, especially when tied to transitional errors of historical importance. Beyond the composition errors, the 1982 cents also exhibit a wide range of die varieties and minting mistakes that can significantly increase value. Double die obverse errors, for example, where the date or lettering appears to be doubled due to a misalignment during the hubbing process, can transform an ordinary penny into a highly prized collectible. Similarly, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and wrong planchet strikes from other coin denominations have been reported in the 1982 series, each adding unique charm and rarity to the coins. Some 1982 cents display ghostly outlines, die chips in Lincoln's beard or ear, or even missing design elements from weak strikes, all of which are clues to the chaotic production environment of that year. The mixture of copper and zinc coins also produced visible differences in color and tone. Copper pennies age into a rich reddish hue, while zinc ones often develop grayish spots or corrosion, which adds another challenge for collectors trying to identify them correctly. Measuring the coin's weight is one of the easiest ways to tell them apart: 3.11 grams for copper and 2.5 grams for zinc, but even that can vary slightly depending on wear or dirt, making precise digital scales essential for identification. Some collectors speculate that other transitional strikes might exist from 1982 that have not yet been discovered, such as zinc planchets struck with leftover 1981 dies or copper planchets struck with experimental 1983 designs, and if such pieces were to be authenticated, they could easily surpass even the rare 1982 small date copper cent in value. Part of what makes these coins so intriguing is the human element, the fact that they represent moments when mint workers, machines, and processes briefly fell out of sync, leaving behind tangible evidence of a changeover in technology and materials that affected an entire nation's currency. Every time a new variety surfaces, it rewrites a small part of U.S. mint history and renews excitement in the numismatic community. In the case of the 1982 1-cent coin rumored to be worth $40 million, many enthusiasts believe it's a specimen with an extraordinary story, perhaps struck on a leftover bronze planchet from 1981 using a unique die alignment, or featuring both a small date and double design element that makes it truly one of a kind. Some even believe there could be a special proof or trial strike made for internal testing at the mint that was never meant to leave the facility, but somehow did, and that such a coin could command tens of millions at auction because of its unmatched rarity and mystery. The appeal of the 1982 penny lies not only in its physical properties but in its symbolism. It represents a bridge between two eras of American coinage, one grounded in tradition and solid copper, and another driven by cost-cutting, modern materials, and industrial efficiency. That duality, reflected in the coins themselves, captures a story of change, innovation, and imperfection that resonates with collectors on a deeply emotional level. Imagine finding one of these pennies in your old change jar or in a roll of coins from the bank, only to discover that it's the legendary $40 million piece. Stories like this ignite dreams in people around the world and fuel the passion that keeps numismatics alive. Auction houses have already proven that such finds can bring life-changing money. A genuine 1982 small date copper cent has sold for tens of thousands in authenticated condition, and experts believe pristine examples could reach millions as awareness and demand grow. Now imagine if a previously unknown error variety surfaced, one combining a small date, copper composition, double die features, and a mint mark misplacement, all verified by PCGS or NGC as unique. The frenzy around such a coin would be unlike anything seen in modern coin collecting. Collectors spend years, sometimes decades, studying die characteristics, minting techniques, and weight patterns to identify potential anomalies, often using magnification and precision tools to spot details invisible to the naked eye. The 1982 series, with its overlapping varieties, offers fertile ground for such discoveries because of how chaotic the transition was. Even within the same mint, dies differed slightly in date shape, numeral thickness, and spacing, which created further subvarieties that numismatists still debate. The small date versus large date distinction itself is based on subtle differences in the number shapes. The 2 in the small date version curls higher than in the large date, and the 8 appears more delicate, details that may seem trivial but hold the key to identifying multi-million-dollar rarities. It's incredible to think that a penny, an object most people overlook or discard, can carry a secret that changes someone's life forever. The story of the 1982 1-cent coin also reminds us of the importance of knowledge and patience in collecting. Countless valuable coins have been spent unknowingly over the years simply because their owners didn't realize what they had. That's why coin education and awareness are vital, helping ordinary people recognize when something extraordinary crosses their path. The 1982 penny, with its mix of copper and zinc, its large and small date variants, and its abundance of mint errors, serves as the perfect case study in how minting transitions create opportunities for legendary coins to be born. Beyond its metal composition, this coin embodies a snapshot of early 1980s America, when inflation pressures and rising copper prices forced the government to innovate in coin production, resulting in the end of the solid copper penny era. For collectors, that makes 1982 not just another date on a coin but a historical marker, a year of transformation whose effects are still felt today. Last. 2004 1 cent. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating tales in modern American numismatics, the 2004 1-cent coin, a small copper-plated piece of metal that has stirred collectors' hearts and market speculation alike, rumored to be worth a jaw-dropping $35 million because of its rare errors, mysterious mistakes, and incredible backstory that transformed it from a simple penny into a treasure worth more than its weight in gold. The 2004 1-cent coin may look ordinary at first glance, but beneath that familiar image of Abraham Lincoln lies a fascinating world of minting anomalies, die variations, and production quirks that have made some examples of this coin legendary among collectors. To understand why this tiny coin could reach such astronomical value, we must explore its journey from the U.S. Mint to collectors' hands, the conditions that led to its errors, and how a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and collector demand turned it into one of the most talked about modern coins in existence. The year 2004 was an interesting one for U.S. coinage. The Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents at both the Philadelphia and Denver facilities, each coin struck from copper-plated zinc blanks, a composition first introduced in 1982 to replace the more expensive solid copper versions. But even with advanced technology and high-speed presses, the minting process is not immune to mistakes. And in 2004, several types of errors began appearing in circulation that would later captivate the numismatic community. Some coins displayed off-center strikes, where the coin blank shifted during striking, leaving part of the design missing or misaligned. Others showed double die errors, where the die that impressed the design on the coin shifted slightly between strikes, causing a doubling effect on the inscriptions or Lincoln's portrait. These double die varieties are among the most desired by collectors, as they visibly distort features like Liberty or the date, making each piece a unique artifact of minting imperfection. But one of the most intriguing errors associated with the 2004 penny involves die deterioration and plating issues. Because the coins are made of zinc coated with a thin copper layer, any weakness in the plating can cause bubbling, peeling, or even exposed zinc spots, which oxidize over time. In rare cases, the copper layer was incompletely applied or reacted oddly under high-pressure strikes, creating bizarre surface textures that made certain 2004 pennies distinctively different from others. These unusual appearances often led curious collectors to set them aside, unknowingly preserving coins that would later be classified as rare mint errors. Another form of 2004 penny rarity comes from die clashes, when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, transferring part of one design onto the opposite side of future coins. A 2004 penny with traces of the Lincoln Memorial's columns faintly visible across Lincoln's portrait can fetch staggering sums at auction because it captures a fleeting accident in the minting process, frozen in metal. The minting presses of the early 2000s were producing coins at breakneck speeds, hundreds of coins per minute, and even a momentary misfeed or alignment issue could result in spectacular errors. One such example that caught national attention was a 2004 penny discovered with two completely different reverses struck on either side, a minting impossibility caused by a die setup error. Such a coin would be considered a mule, an extreme rarity in coinage history. These mule errors, if genuine, can command millions, and one particularly controversial specimen reportedly changed hands privately for several $1 million, sparking the legend of the $35 million 2004 penny. The speculation surrounding that coin only grew when experts debated whether it was an experimental strike, a deliberate test piece that escaped the mint, or a mechanical error that accidentally combined mismatched dies. Whatever the truth, its mystery fueled the imagination of collectors everywhere, pushing its perceived value into the tens of millions. But not all valuable 2004 pennies owe their fame to mechanical flaws, some derive their worth from human intervention and numismatic rarity. Coins struck on the wrong planchets, for example, occur when a blank meant for another denomination mistakenly ends up in the penny press. Imagine a 2004 Lincoln cent struck on a dime blank, thinner, lighter, and made of a different metal. The resulting coin would be undersized with an incomplete design, instantly recognizable as a mint error and worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands depending on condition. Combine that with pristine mint state preservation and you have a potential multi-million-dollar piece of history. Another captivating element is the role of proof coins and special mint sets from 2004. Occasionally, a proof die intended for collectors was mistakenly used on regular business strike blanks, resulting in coins with an unusually sharp, mirror-like finish in circulation. These hybrid strikes, part proof, part circulation coin, are exceedingly rare, and if tied to the 2004 series, could easily command prices that reach or exceed seven figures. When collectors began discovering small variances in the 2004 dies, minute differences in lettering thickness, die cracks near Lincoln's shoulder, and slightly rotated dies, many started hoarding rolls of 2004 pennies, hoping to uncover one of these valuable anomalies. One of the most famous 2004 die cracks created what looked like a tiny raised line extending from Lincoln's mouth, earning it the nickname, Spitting Lincoln. Though minor compared to other errors, examples of this variety in flawless condition have sold for impressive sums. Multiply that curiosity by thousands of enthusiasts hunting for varieties, and the legend of the 2004 penny's fortune continued to grow. The story of the $35 million penny likely took root from a mix of truth, exaggeration, and the immense passion of collectors who see beauty in imperfection. After all, coin collecting is as much about history and storytelling as it is about metal and mint marks. The idea that an ordinary penny, something most people overlook, could turn out to be worth a fortune captures the imagination like few other hobbies can. It reminds us that every coin in our pocket could hold a mystery, a mistake, or a story that connects us to the intricate processes and human errors behind mass production. The 2004 penny's legend is also tied to its condition and grade. Coins graded MS-70, or perfect mint state, are virtually flawless under magnification and can fetch astronomical sums purely for their rarity. Combine a flawless grade with a dramatic mint error, and it's easy to see why some appraisers and collectors estimate values reaching into the tens of millions. In auctions, provenance and publicity can magnify a coin's price beyond its intrinsic worth. A coin featured in magazines, documentaries, or major numismatic exhibitions instantly becomes more desirable, and when a mysterious 2004 penny surfaced with claims of unique error features, possibly a transitional die or mule strike, the ensuing media attention pushed its hypothetical valuation to the incredible $35 million mark. Even though not every expert agrees with that figure, the excitement it generated was undeniable. To the average person, it might sound unbelievable that a penny could be worth more than luxury mansions or sports cars, but in the niche world of error coin collecting, the laws of supply and demand operate on rarity, intrigue, and collector emotion. If there's only one of something in the world, and two or more collectors desperately want it, its price can skyrocket beyond logic. The 2004 penny saga is a perfect example of that phenomenon. Beyond mechanical errors, chemical reactions have also added mystique to some 2004 coins. The combination of zinc cores and thin copper plating made these pennies susceptible to environmental changes. Some developed rainbow toning, a spectrum of colors caused by heat or chemical exposure, that turned them into artistic masterpieces of natural oxidation. While most toned coins are the result of years of storage, certain 2004 examples showed unusual patterns shortly after minting, suggesting possible mint packaging reactions or production anomalies. When such coins appear with proof-like surfaces or dramatic hues, they become one-of-a-kind specimens sought after by high-end collectors. Over the years, more and more stories of the million-dollar penny have surfaced, but few captured attention like the 2004 issue. Whether it's a double die obverse with visible doubling in God We Trust, a mule reverse showing an incorrect design, or a broad strike error where the coin expanded beyond its rim, each possibility adds another layer to the legend. The idea of a 2004 penny worth $35 million may seem fantastical, but it embodies everything collectors love: rarity, beauty, imperfection, and the thrill of discovery. It stands as a testament to how human error can create unintended masterpieces that transcend their humble origins. Imagine finding such a coin in your change, one small penny capable of changing your life forever. This dream has fueled countless treasure hunts, online searches, and garage sale discoveries where ordinary people suddenly realize they're holding something extraordinary. Many of these stories trace back to coins like the 2004 penny, whose rumored value encourages people to look closer, to see the world differently, and to appreciate that even common objects can hide priceless secrets. The intrigue surrounding this coin has also sparked debates within the numismatic community.